So we've all heard those people who claim that socialism is the best option for America. They use examples such as Germany, Sweden, or Denmark. Well, in this next episode of The Wise Conservative, let's take a look at the facts as to why socialism will not work in America. I'm Connor Wise. Let's dive right in. Socialism versus capitalism has been a very heated debate for many years. And with the self-proclaimed socialist Bernie Sanders gaining a rather large foothold in the presidential race, it has become an even bigger topic of discussion. And, I couldn't help but noticing how many times liberals reference these European nations as to why socialism works. However, they overlook a huge portion of how these countries operate. Every single one of the countries that are referred to by liberals, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, and many others, you see, these countries have a capitalistic economy. They have to have this in order to make a profit. That means not everybody has the same wage, the companies are private, and there's still private ownership of property. Just that fact alone disproves the liberal argument of socialism working in Europe, but for the sake of this recording, I'll continue to explain what I mean. So, liberals go on and on about how because they have free healthcare, free college, that it's a socialist country. While it does have elements of a socialist country, it heavily relies on capitalism. Economics is a huge part of any country. I know that, you know that, well, I'm assuming that everyone knows that. Now, we can see that just because economics is such a huge part of any country, a fundamental part of any country, that these European countries are not in fact socialist. They're reliant on a free market, and so they're not, as liberals would say, socialist. If you explain what I have just said to a Democrat, they will say that just because these few programs are in place, that they're necessary here in America. Yeah, and they say that it's necessary even if we do keep a free market. But as before, they don't look at the facts. You see, the income tax rate in Denmark is a whopping 60.2%. Now, that's an extremely high number, and it's so high because of all these programs that liberals, that Democrats say are so necessary, though they have to pay for that somehow. What liberals don't realize, well, a majority of liberals, such as the younger generations, those who actually support Bernie Sanders, they don't look at how they're actually paying for these programs. They hear free healthcare, free college. Great, it's free. That means we don't have to pay. But they're still paying for it through taxes. The American people are still paying for it through taxes. And like this example here, Denmark is still paying for it in taxes, which is why they have a 60.2 income tax. Now, remember that 60.2% for a little while I talk about why this actually applies to us here in the U.S. So, Bernie Sanders has proposed a free college and free healthcare plan for America. However, the Wall Street Journal has found that his plan would cost the U.S. $18 trillion a year. To put that into perspective, our entire country's debt right now is $18 trillion. Sanders and his supporters claim that we can pay from a tax on Wall Street. But the fact of the matter is, you would have to greatly increase the tax rates for every citizen, not just on Wall Street. You would have to greatly increase it for every citizen and cut spending in other vital budgets such as military. So this plan could quite possibly result in a tax rate even higher than that 60.2% that I asked you to remember. Now, if we look to why our founding fathers started to get restless with Britain, it was because of high taxes. So our nation was founded off of the fact that we were paying taxes that were extremely high and quite honestly were put on without consent of the colonies. So how do you think America would respond to having a tax rate that takes almost 3/4 of our income? I don't think that America would react very well to that, especially because not that many people actually want this. So we can see that just about every conservative, any true conservative, does not actually want these programs in place, and we can see that even some liberals do not want these programs in place. So a high tax rate in order to implement these programs would not go over very well, and that is one of the main reasons why I believe that Bernie Sanders is not taking the lead in the national polls against Hillary Clinton. So, I mean, these free programs, they just wouldn't work. They would not have the backing that Senator Sanders believes that they would have, and they would quite honestly raise our tax rate way too high. So, I mean, they keep saying that we need these programs because they say that healthcare is a right, that free college should be a right. But the fact of the matter is healthcare is not a right. The fact of the matter is college is not a right either. And neither of those will be a right because there's something that you have to pay for and there's something that you should pay for. And no matter what, we're going to be paying for this through taxes or through private transfer of money. I believe that the only way to keep the prices low is through the free market, through the private transfer of money. And that's how any true fiscal conservative views this point. So whenever a liberal comes up to you and they say that we need free college or we need free healthcare, tell them the facts. Tell them that those European nations aren't actually socialist. Tell them that we will not stand for an extra $18 trillion in governmental spending. Tell them that America was founded on and will continue to be a free market for our lives, our children's lives, and our children's children's lives. Because we were founded on a capitalistic society. We cannot end that for a few, conveniences. Yes, there are some people who cannot afford college, but that's actually necessary in a nation. You see, if every single person in the nation has a college degree, the college degree is essentially as, useful as a high school degree. The second that every single American has a college degree, it's useless. Then there will be some sort of higher degree that businesses will be looking for in order to know that their recruit is actually smarter or more qualified for the job than the rest of America. And so we can see that these socialist programs would not work. We can see that these socialist programs are a horrible idea. And so that is exactly why I believe that socialism would not work in America, and quite honestly, it shouldn't even be an issue because socialism is an ideal. Now, in order for it to work, you have to have every single person in the nation on the same page. But it's human nature to not care about your neighbor as much as you care about yourself. Now, I'm not saying that I don't care about my neighbor, that I don't care about my friends. What I'm saying is, from the second you are born, you care about your own family, your own self, more than you're going to care about Joe from Montana, more than you're going to care about Pedro from California. It's just human nature. If you look at the facts, socialism hasn't worked in other countries. Socialism won't work in other countries. In fact, socialism isn't working in any country right now because they haven't implemented true socialism. But even these socialist programs, the free healthcare, the free college, the facts say that they haven't worked. The facts say that they won't work. And the facts say that they would never work in America. So please, liberals, self-proclaimed socialists, those who follow Bernie Sanders, please look at the facts as to why Americans don't want this 60% tax rate, to why Americans don't want to add $18 trillion to government spending. Our government was put in place to protect our rights, not to control every little nook and cranny of our lives. And that is why socialism would not work in America. So that's all I have time for in this episode of The Wise Conservative. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. And it would be great if you left some feedback down in the comment section. We're always looking to improve as a new channel. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I'm Connor Wise, and this has been The Wise Conservative.